Ah, oops. Good morning, Insane Rhetoric listeners. I know y'all wonder y'all wonder where he is. Okay, wait, he coming, y'all. Okay, so no, he not in the green room. But anyway, how y'all doing this morning? Thank you for joining us here on Insane Rhetoric this morning. And yeah, we we in the building today. How you doing, co-host?
We in the building. Hey,
We
we
in the building.
building. Hey, what it do? What it do? What's yanking? What's going on? You know what it is? World's upside down. I ain't even trying to write you right side up no more. I'm just gonna float with it.
No, I just mm-mm.
I'm just gonna wherever the river takes us. What's happening though? What's going on?
Nothing.
What?
No, okay, y'all. So okay, it's nothing. I just thought of something, a response that I should have made while we was doing pre-show talk, and I can't say it on air.
Oh.
Wait a
Mm.
minute, y'all. Anyway, it have to do with birthdays and certain people's birthdays.
Oh, you can say that on there. We don't like them no way.
Look, y'all, every time I say something, y'all notice I'm not saying every time. I'm saying every
Every
time.
time. Every time.
Okay,
You working on that black card, huh? I see.
I'm trying. I'm
Your
trying.
Ebonics is getting wonderful.
I'm
You
trying.
know, I'm so glad that you are getting it done.
I'm trying.
You put in the application and you're doing all the necessities to acquire the black card. Hey,
Token white guy say he gonna give me a black card.
he can't get those out.
Okay, so I was gonna ask Fire in the pre-show, why is it that anytime okay, just lately though, it hadn't been prior to now. Every time I say so,
Every
I
time,
every time
every time.
every time I say something, not something,
Not something, something.
no, something.
You know, somebody
Er,
got killed the other day.
Yeah, every time I say something lately, it won't matter what I say. I might say something about I had to go to the store to get a loaf of bread. And when I went with, and he'll go, you went
Because I'm trying to keep you on the straight and narrow. I want you to fall back.
with?
I don't want you to fall back. I don't want you to fall back. I'm trying to keep you on the straight and narrow. I don't want to have to fly down.
I told y'all about the Dear John letter, right? Okay,
Dear John,
so
dear
it's in this
John.
particular person's MO, modus operandi,
For those who didn't know what MO stood for.
or mode of operation.
Uh-huh. You don't want to do
It's in this person's modus operandi
motor
to
motive op.
disappear for a long length of time and then to conveniently forget why they were gone in the first place. So when they return, everything's okay, forgotten, and you can start over.
To them.
And typically, I have allowed this person to do that, but I'm guessing that they won't do that again. Now, I said before I saw them the last time, before I ran into them the last time, I said, "Oh, I'll never see them again." So I'm not gonna say that this time.
Right.
So now we have not a real bet, but we like have just a conversation bet on when he gonna show up. You heard the Ebonics?
Mm-hmm. Of course I did.
When he gonna show back up?
As far as the little bits that we have been making down through the years, down through the years, I usually win those.
That would be correct.
I usually win. I do pretty well with that.
So I said that I wasn't going to see this person again, and that fire didn't need to like every time I say something like I'm going to get some bread.
Hey man, I'm just
You
trying
know
to
who
have
I
it.
talked to on the phone the other day? You talked to. Like, I didn't get a chance to talk to.
Hey, this, this is what little brothers do. I have the
So
gambit on little brothers status. This is what we do.
Fire does have this person's phone number. I'm so glad he has not bothered to call. Thank you so much for that.
Man, I'm not calling that dude. He ain't worth my time to call. If you tell me to call, then I call. But it got to be something that's dire for me to call.
Well, I see.
Like the last situation that we had. Hey man, give her stuff back. Now
Yeah.
I'm saying on online live, give her stuff back. Yeah. Got
So
something to say.
yeah, I was just trying to figure out why. Okay, so that's the end of that. I just didn't get a chance to finish that because I had technical computer difficulties that y'all could tell because I got the old logo on.
Yeah, I seen
I
that.
know y'all astute like that. Y'all can figure that out. That this is if y'all been paying attention, if y'all been watching us since day one, y'all know I got the old logo on.
Mm,
I had technical difficulties today.
it's all right. Like all the other ones be having technical difficulties. They sitting on their couch, no background. Somebody got a fan blowing in the background. Half the picture showing, half is not. No good lighting. We all right. We
So
all
we got something exciting. We got something exciting getting ready to happen next week.
Man, listen. That's
Go
gonna
on,
be
tell them. Go on, tell them.
that's gonna be off of me to listen. We are having part two of what is it called? Fatherhood. Stand
Yeah.
up. I call it stand up fatherhood because it's a lot of cats out there that's standing up, black, white, purple, green. It ain't just about black fathers. It is about all fathers. Man, listen. We are having a good show next week. We having one of the guests from upstate.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's
so
right. We
we're
got a
gonna have
special guest coming from
yeah,
it's actually
Connecticut.
called no, Boston.
I thought you said Connecticut.
Boston.
Oh, Boston, Mass. Okay. One of the
But
cleanest cities in America. I mean, it is. Boston, Mass is clean. I don't mean morally clean. I mean like clean, there's no trash.
well, so he's the host of a podcast called the Fatherhood Podcast. That's no Black Fatherhood. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, Ro. Black Fatherhood Podcast. Y'all go check it out. But
Man, I think it's gonna be good though. You know,
yeah, we're gonna
I
have our regulars on here.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I remember that last show, boy. Oof,
Well,
Oh,
we might have our regulars. They haven't answered the email.
right.
Well, they haven't answered one of the
One of the emails, yeah.
that they need. But
I'm like, all right, the last fatherhood show, it was some people who was feeling kind of iffy. I was like, they was like a little upset because I was gonna make somebody be out the bad dad. I hope I don't have to do this on this show because the last time we had this, Unc was Unc was
I
cool.
don't make me. I'm trying. My mama used to say, my
If
mom and my grandmother and my auntie that watch all the
you
time.
can't say nothing good,
Yeah.
I know I'm from that same era. But
Oh,
I go back and change it. I'm gonna say what I want to say. One of
I
them
mean,
radicals.
I just have a problem when you come on my show and then want to disrespect me on my show because I'm a woman. Like,
But see, that's why he didn't learn to tie a tie until he was 60.
okay, I thought he said 40, but okay.
Whatever, same difference. People learn to tie ties way earlier than that. No, 40, 60, whatever.
Yeah, I think my son was 7.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been tying ties for a long time, so I
He
mean,
might have been 6 or 7, like he was young.
and then like, you got people like me who like wear bow ties, so I learned how to tie a bow tie quickly. You know what I'm saying? Then I can make bow ties out of long ties. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing that for a while. So I don't know, but yeah, this show gonna be good next week, man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
I'm
need to.
excited. I'm excited. And
Yeah,
then we gonna have a no good baby mama show. I don't know when we're gonna put that together. Low down is what we gonna call it.
that's gonna be in the man cave too. Cause
Why?
which by the way, I'm gonna make a public service announcement. I will no longer make an appearance in the man cave because I'm gonna cuss somebody out if they come on my show
That's
talk about.
that's why it's fun for you to be there. This is why we do this. It's called balance. That's why we do this,
I be trying.
man.
So I was trying to be quiet, which I
Bump that.
I was relatively quiet. I was just making sure we steer the conversation and throw out the facts. I was the fact checker. That's it. But I had a comment that a woman would make, and well,
You ain't lived until you've been thrown into the lion's den. I mean, that's cool. See, I don't have no problem with no woman coming in the man cave. Like, if you remember, I was invited to the she shed and I didn't say nothing. Until a question was directed to me. I didn't say a
right.
thing. But somebody on the show prior tried to get loose. And I had to go ahead, tie them up and put them in their place. So you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
But I be trying to respect old people though.
I respect people who respect me. See, that's I think that
This
I think
person
that
we talking about, even after the show was over, y'all, the man cave show was over, the last fatherhood show. Even after it was over, they just kept coming for me.
and that's
And
and that's
one of the guests that was on the show was like in a quiet manner, like redirecting this person to where he finally said too, he was like, that's not what was said. That's not what we talking about. That please give me your proof. That's something different. Like they were saying things like that.
right. The context wasn't right in which he was trying to state his statement, and somebody came and told him this is the context of what that meant, and he still couldn't agree with it.
Right.
Mm.
Because it was like, it was like she kind of got a point. This is what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kept on, even after the conversation was over. He just all of
Yeah,
this was in text too.
yeah. And like I say, I created that text just to let everybody know what's going on when it was going on.
And
Not
I
for
said
nobody to be
thank you.
going back and forth with about something that you can't even prove.
And then I said, and this was after I went back and proved my statement because I said on the show, I'm not sure where it is. And then,
We
oh,
found it.
we, yeah.
The Lord directed us, and we found it.
But I only went back in there to say, hey, I found that this is where it was. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Right. Yeah, like some people just don't know how.
Everybody else came back with, oh, we had a good time.
Right. Cause like that person he was trying to get clippy with me. I'm like, hey, that ain't what we finna do. I had to shut him on down.
So I'm gonna tell you I probably won't be in the man game because
She'll be there. She'll be there.
I don't
'Cause
want
we
to
gonna
cuss nobody out.
she'll be there. She'll be there.
I
I'm used to it, so she'll be there. She'll be right there, and then we'll go ahead and just have a good time discussing fatherhood and however that comes off. But it's gonna be real interesting. I think it'll be a good intensity. I put endings on words. I don't know what everybody else do. So,
well, I'm
so
learning how not to. So excuse me. Excuse me.
somebody got killed.
I'm sure that within the last 24 hours, probably many hundreds of people across the world, if not thousands, got killed.
Especially in Ukraine.
You heard about Russia shooting down? Did you hear about Russia shooting down
A drone or something, one of the
American drones?
drone. Yep,
They trying to start all our war. All of this was to be in the war with America.
yep, yep,
Okay, we said that in the first place when it
yep.
first happened, but
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's that's gonna be bad.
You
So
notice how they haven't been afraid of a president since Obama. They was afraid of Obama, but they haven't been afraid of Mr. Orange Hair. They're not afraid of Mr. Biden. Like,
because they talk, man. They don't execute. They always trying to do negotiations, man. And that's
Mr.
just
Obama did negotiations.
yeah, but he sent people in there to kill people too.
Uh,
That's how Bin Laden came up missing.
okay, if y'all want to know about this cook, this is the Queen of Cumbia,
Okay, you got to
Selena.
put it in the camera because you
Oh,
moving and is going in and out. All right,
the
so we get right there. Stay right there. Go back a little. There you go. Right there. Don't move.
Queen. Okay, hold on. The Queen of Cumbia. Hold on. Okay, the Queen of Cumbia. That's Selena Quintanilla. Y'all probably don't know her because she been dead a good little minute now. But
That's the cup
Selena,
that was designed for you. Oh, that's still on the way. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought that was the one.
they had a series of cups honoring her as stripes.
What did she do?
She's a
Because I know.
singer.
What
The
did she say?
cumbia is a dance or a style of movement or a style of music, and she was from um, Texas, and her heritage was Mexican. Her daddy had a band when he was younger, and he turned his children into
The
a,
background singer.
a no, he turned his children into a band, like
Like
her
the Jackson 5.
brothers. Yeah, the Mexican Jackson
Jackson
5.
5. That was
Uh-huh. But she was the star. She was the soloist, and then her brother and some cousins, all them other people, they was in the band.
Mhm.
And she
What happened to
her see
her?
this
Same as
why this
same as
why
like Selena.
that's Selena we talking about. That's
Oh,
the
that's
Selena.
that's that's okay. Okay, I know that story. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, her manager killed her.
Yeah. Managers is in the business of killing people these
Well,
days.
she was the manager of her salon store, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she killed her because she had been stealing from her. And
Mm-hmm.
Selena found out, and she went to talk to her about it. And well,
Should
she
have
killed
killed
her.
her
It was a
first.
whole standoff on the TV and everything. But
Should have killed her first. So he said she's stealing money from me. Shoot, I gotta send in Guido.
Selena died just as she dropped her first crossover album.
Yeah, that's usually
So
how it goes.
her daddy got her to speak Spanish better because he wanted the band to be a Tejano band.
Mm-hmm.
And that genre was like all men.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he got her to be he got her to be a Tejano singer. She was welcomed in the Mexican community. Like her Spanish was like not exactly on point because she was born here
Yeah.
and she spoke English. She was born, and so her daddy like forced her to get her Spanish on point.
Mm-hmm.
So she sang Tejano music first, but she grew up on our regular pop music, and that was her love. So her last album was a crossover album.
Got you.
Yeah, it had some regular English songs,
Mm-hmm.
English language songs, but it also had some Spanish songs on it, Spanish lyric songs on it.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Okay.
that album.
Oh, okay. Sure. I mean, that's what's up. I ain't shoot.
I could be in a random place. Like one time I was at my job and I just started singing it out of nowhere. And then my boss, all of a sudden, because she liked music too, my boss, she started singing it too. We was both a bitty, 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 boom, boom. Anyway, I could be in the grocery store. One time, I was okay, so when my daughter was getting married, we went to the bridal extravaganza, the show where
Mm-hmm.
they get show all the bridal vendors. We went there, and so during one of the like the intermission of the fashion show part,
Mm-hmm.
they brought out a piano player, and he was playing all these different songs. Then he started taking requests, and somebody requested that, and me and this lady sitting next to each other. My daughter was looking at me. Her daughter was looking at her, because we got up. That song came on. Both of us jumped up and started doing the cumbia with each other and singing the song. And both our daughters was like, mm-mm. And me and that lady, we were so happy dancing with each other. I know that lady from Adam.
Mm-mm. That's
But
crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
so Selena, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that story.
Not Selena Gomez.
I know he's on. I'm familiar.
The
I got
youngsters think I'm talking about Selena Gomez.
Yeah, no. Wrong one.
Uh-uh. Wrong one.
Wrong. Yeah,
This,
so tell me, listen. I seen some stuff on the news feed the other day. So we have another Chernobyl incident in Minnesota.
yeah, that part.
Like 400,000 gallons of radioactive water.
Yeah. Ain't nothing like Flint.
No, it ain't nothing like Flint, but still,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're shipping all this the things that the US supposed to do and maintain, and you're getting other countries to do it, and you can't even fix the infrastructure in your own country so the people can be safe. Once again, sometimes I am a conspiracy theorist, Like, just depends on what it is. I would say, check the stats, but I know it ain't no black people in Minnesota. Ah, don't do it. Don't do it. All black people in Minnesota was Kirby Puckett and Prince.
That's what I was first. That was the first thing I was gonna say. Prince was from Minnesota, so don't say that.
When I say, when you know what I mean, when I say there's no black people in Minnesota, I mean the population is low compared to other places.
Okay, so where in Minnesota was this happening?
I don't remember what the name of that city was.
I know it was the Xcel Energy Montecello
Yeah, Montecello,
nuclear
yeah.
power plant.
But I don't know what city in Minnesota it was in. I don't remember. And I can't see it on my feed right now. But that's just crazy though. So I'm like, you didn't get enough of Chernobyl when that happened then? Like, is it natural disasters usually happen every 10 to 15. So nuclear power plants, what we shooting for every 20 to 30?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, come on, man, this should not be happening still. Like, really, it should not be happening. I don't know what to say about that.
Okay, so Monticello. Okay, Monticello. I'll say it the American way. Monticello is uh it's next to the Mississippi River. If you're from Mississippi, that's Wright County, Minnesota. Okay.
Mm.
Population. I'll tell y'all the population of that area. So 1880, 290. 2020, 14,455.
Mm.
Okay.
Hmm.
The median income is 45,384. That's like per household, but per family, it could range up to about 53,566. For uh, men make 41,000, versus women who make about 25,000, 26,000.
Yeah, that's a 25 to $20,000 difference.
Yeah. 4.2% of the families there are below the poverty line.
Get to my major question. How many Negroes
The median
living?
age in the city is 31 years old. Um, so yeah.
I think uh like I'm in the courtroom
Okay,
evading
okay, okay.
evading
92.6% white,
cheers.
1.5% African American, 0.5% Native American, 1.0% Asian, and then 2.3, they say other races, 2.1 from two or more races. And those that identify only as Latino, 5.4%.
It's cold there. We don't go there.
What are you trying to say? That's not true. Black people don't like the cold. Don't say that.
Huh? We
Why you
don't.
gonna?
We don't like the cold nor the hot. We need to be somewhere in between.
Okay. So so you brought it up. Tell us about the leak. Go.
I'm,
Let's
I'm
get off
just,
of it.
I was just saying, I was
Well,
just
what
thinking,
happened though? Like you said,
I,
400,000 gallons.
yeah, radioactive material leaked into the water supply. So
Well,
I guess
okay.
they,
What he's not telling you is it was contaminated with titanium.
no, I just knew they understood what radioactive was. So I'm sorry.
This
Yeah,
Sesame
sorry.
Street for adults.
I got it. I'm
You
sorry.
gotta act like you're talking to me.
Oh God, stop it. Yeah. So harmful to the body, you will die from it. That's
Okay,
that's put
so
that's
it
putting it in a
leaked from a
nutshell.
water pipe running between two buildings.
Two reactors. Let's call it what it is. Two reactors. She probably and that water pipe was probably running through them two buildings to keep the temperature down
So
on
here's the
the
problem.
reactors.
Here's the problem. It didn't just happen. It's the
No.
problem. It happened in late November, y'all. That's why he's
Yeah.
so upset.
Yes. Just like the train wreck in Ohio that didn't nobody want to tell nobody about. There was spilling chemicals again. Tried to keep that closed for 10 days before somebody turned around and said, look, there's a leak from a train accident, and there's a mushroom cloud that is big as the atomic bomb, and people and livestock are dying.
So the company is saying that it's contained within the facility. We know that's probably not true.
We know that's not true because we can go back 10 to 15 years. What happened? The BP oil leak. Let's not bring this back up.
Yeah, that was a
We
mess
have
over here in the
we
Gulf of
we
Mexico. That was
we
pretty
we
bad.
we have it contained. You do? Well, there's a large black stuff constantly bubbling up from the oil rig. I don't think that's contained. I don't know what your definition of contained means now, because I haven't looked that one up in the Webster dictionary in a while, but it's constantly bubbling up through the water. So I mean, I don't think that that's contained at all.
So Excel says that they're still working. So they said that they had two actions that were paramount. One was to stop the leak.
And what was Paramount mean? That again, because this is the Adult Sesame Street. That is not the movie company.
Yeah, you wrote for that.
Not the movie Paramount. This is not the Excel is not producing a picture. They're producing chemicals.
Paramount means, let's just say, important. Super duper important.
High priority, level orange. High
Is that the
priority.
highest
I don't
level
know. I
on?
don't remember.
Okay. Okay. Or red. It was red.
I
It
thought it
was
was red.
during COVID, it was red.
Level red. That
Okay.
level
Orange
red.
was the step down.
Okay. Not
Then
much of a
yellow.
yeah.
Okay.
Caution, but it won't kill you.
Okay. I gotta take an aside real quick. So it was three. Um. It was March 14th this week. Okay. Y'all forgive me. So it was March 14th this week. I'm reaching for something that fell, y'all. Sorry.
Reach
It
out
is
and
live.
touch somebody's
It is live.
hand.
Okay. So um it was 314 this week. I don't know if you heard of a chain called Blaze Pizza. BLAZE, Blaze Pizza.
I'm familiar a little bit.
Okay, so every year they have you on that day you can get a pizza for $3.14. Like just kind of a personal size pizza. Just
Mm-hmm.
it's bigger than the small one, but it's like a medium sized pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it for $3.14. You get the regular crust, like their original crust, but you can at Blaze you can put whatever you want on this pizza and they cook it the way you want it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Blaze Pizza, Blaze Pizza, Blaze Pizza. We could be a sponsor,
Just
Blaze Pizza.
Blaze. Not like does your marketing, just Blaze.
Okay, so I went to get a Blaze Pizza for $3.14. Because that personal pizza I can eat, 2 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the pizza that I get normally costs about $14, $15 because I get the cauliflower crust. I didn't this time because their regular crust is gluten free. Okay. And I didn't want to pay more than the $3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I get in the line. It's a very long line. It's moving quickly, but it's a long line. Tell me why I kept standing back, not 6 feet, but enough to where some air could get between me and the person. And if 2 or 3 people wanted to walk past, well, maybe 2 people want to walk through there, they could. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
walking together, 2 people could walk comfortably through talking
Mm-hmm.
to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why the people behind me kept being up on me like this. The lady was on the phone. I could hear her conversation just right in my ear. Her husband was standing right next to her. I could hear their conversation. And if I went like this, they went like this. If I went like this, they went, okay. It was so bad, like I could feel her breath on my neck. So I stepped slightly out of the line and she and her husband stepped up. Like it was like I wasn't even in the line. I kept looking at them, giving them the side eye. She was standing there very, very self-important. She was in her business suit. And she was standing there very self-important. I mean, she's so important that her husband was holding her purse for her. I hadn't seen that in years, where the husband hold the purse. I promise I hadn't seen that in years. Men used to do that a lot. They would hold the purse for the lady wife.
Well, that's normal now because men holding their own purses.
Listen, and I'm thinking to myself, did we learn nothing from the pandemic?
No, no.
Like,
You see,
okay, it's fine if you want to go, don't want to wear your mask. If you want to stand in a long line with a whole crowd of people, you want to be in a club with a crowd of people. But answer me this. Did we learn nothing that we can't just be all up on each
oh,
other?
but see,
Okay.
but see, that's why you gotta have people like me. Cause I would have turned around like, hey, I need y'all to back up. Y'all just too close. That's personal space. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all give me some room? Back up. Every time I move, you finna move. No, man. Stand still. Let the line roll a little bit. And like, yeah, I don't do well. I don't do well with that.
I'm not saying that, you have, I personally have to be careful because I'm older. Like I have to be careful of pretty much a whole bunch of stuff.
Li-
Like I got to be careful about how I walk down the street because I might fall and
Listen,
break my hip.
listen.
Okay.
It ain't about being older. It's about having personal space. If you remember when COVID jumped off, man, it was a guy. I forgot what state it was in, but it was a guy who was driving a bus, and somebody came in, young guy came in and coughed on him, and he wound up dying like a week or so later from just the germs of
Oh
whatever
yeah, I
they
remember
COVID.
that.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't a young thing. It's just like get out my space thing. You know what I'm saying? I
I
don't
don't
need
know
you
what
all on my
it is
back. You
about
know what
us
I'm
that we
saying?
have to be like cattle. We worse than cattle. Like I don't I know somebody gonna say that I call people cattle.
Man,
That's
so
not
what?
true.
So what? The Bible
No,
calls people
but
sheep.
but that's
No,
not what I
no, no, that
did.
don't mean nothing. So,
But
I mean, you think about it like this: it's freaking indoctrination. You know, like I remember you talking with me, and you talking about how we go by the clock of things. We go by the time in schools. Soon as we get hear the bell, we line up like you in the penitentiary. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's an
Yeah, I don't like
indoctrinational
that.
thing. So you used to being on top of people. Maybe you need to be in one of them cells somewhere. You know, you used to being on top of people. Nah, man, spread
Okay,
out.
I'm getting ready to be ugly right now. I'm sorry. I know usually I'm not sorry, y'all. Okay. This fan situation. Okay, listen. I'm they was Indian.
Which Indian? With the dot on their head?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I listen. I could say
I'm
some.
sorry.
I could say some mean things about them. Like
I
I was in a place. Sister, I was in a place like I was getting something out of the grocery store, and this wasn't an Indian. This was an Iranian. Matter of fact, I was in Aldi's, and
Aldi,
dude,
Aldi, Aldi.
and dude bumped into me and didn't say nothing. And then his wife came around and like started, you know how they put the groceries on the counter, and then you go to the counter and bag your stuff up because they don't bag it for you. So
Mhm.
she came and pushed her cart around and hit my foot. I went in. I turned like, hey, I don't know what your problem is, but you need to learn how to say excuse me because you put that basket at the back of my ankle and your husband bumped into me. So I just went in. Man, they some of the non-respectful, just disrespectful people, man. Like, and I'm not saying all foreigners, you know what I'm saying? Because some people got some sense. But the ones who are, they are so disrespectful. I ain't got no problem telling them off. None.
But we got disrespectful people here too, like the Karen
Yeah,
that was in the grocery store that
yeah,
coughed
yeah.
on the lady's baby.
Yeah. And see, it's a wonder that that lady
Let's
didn't
not
get.
just blame it on.
No, I'm just saying that was my incident. I was just saying my incident. That was one of the things I was dealing with in the world that day. I was like, man, you got me messed up, man.
So
I ain't that dude.
the the reason why it was a connection for me, because we was talking about the water in Minnesota. The reason why it was a connection for me is because people don't really think past, as my father would have said, people don't think past the nose on their face.
Yep.
So if the company is going to this Excel, they're going to want to come out of the limelight as quickly as possible.
Possible. Yep. Yep.
So there are two things: is I have to stop the leak, which I did, and two, I gotta contain I gotta contain
The activity, the radioactivity.
right the radioactivity. You know,
Yeah. I so we know.
so they're saying they're trying to reclaim. We're saying activity, but they're saying we have to reclaim the water. Now, how you gonna see this?
You
What I'm talking about, people? How
you
you gonna
can't
reclaim?
you cannot.
You cannot come reclaim the water,
Once it's contaminated.
and once it's gone into the tributaries,
That's it.
that's it. So you can't there's no way that you're going to be able to reclaim
That's it.
that.
And see, that's what I say
It would
about.
take too much money for you to go and do what you got to do, because it's going to go on out to the tributaries.
Yep.
Okay, now remember I told you that this place Montecello, um I told you what it was near, right?
The Mississippi.
Okay. So,
And up there, it's a stream. It's not wide as it is when it comes down through the Midwest. Because,
okay,
like certain parts of New York, you can actually step over the Mississippi River.
okay. So now my co-host referenced Chernobyl because that was about radioactive chemical
Hmm.
that pretty much reacted like the hydrogen bomb
Man,
all over the whole
man,
town. And it's still,
active, still active.
can
And
you
that
say
was
it
that
again,
was 30
co-host?
years ago.
It's still what,
A-
co-host?
Active,
Okay. No, correct. No one is there,
right?
but I think we actually talked about it on this show because we were like, man, it's still active. Like
Yeah.
that a news article came out within the last couple of years that said to us, told us that yeah, nobody lives there anymore. Nobody's there.
Hit the gate. The whole place is radioactive.
It's still radioactive. So
Like
that's our point, y'all. That's where that connection comes in.
30 years. That's been
30
30 years
years
ago.
and Chernobyl. And yes, it was even more massive. Chernobyl was really the next thing to the hydrogen bomb
Really.
hitting Hiroshima.
Right. It really was.
Okay, and let's just talk about that too. I mean, just like this is Minnesota, and you got chemicals. You stopped the leak, but
Flowing.
that was in November. That was in November. This is March,
Listen,
and we still talking about we cleaning it up.
listen. Minnesota is at the top of the map near the Mississippi, one of the biggest rivers and longest rivers in the United States. And mostly all the streams and small rivers feed the Mississippi River. So if it's flowing down, let's talk about gravity. When it flows down, guess who's going to start to be affected by these impacts? Now, granted, the toxicity of the reaction might not be as great as when it started in Minnesota, but it's still harmful enough to do damage. So now we have what is this? What is it, co-host? We got three states that had water problems. We got Minnesota, we
Yep,
had Flint, and then Mississippi was going into a drought. They couldn't get water for whatever reason because something was
right.
happening down there. So I mean, I'm saying this. Look at the trend. Look at the pattern. Look at the trend. Look at the pattern.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
the mayor of the city of Montecello put out a message on their city website.
What do you say? It's
And
okay. It's all right. We got it.
he said that they didn't learn about the extent of the water leak
Yeah.
until late the end of February 2023.
They ain't lying. They lying. They ain't lying.
And since then, they've been working with the manufacturer and state and federal regulating agencies to listen, to understand the scope. That didn't say to do anything. That said to understand the scope,
What needs to be
to
done?
understand how big it is and what needs to be done. That's the
Okay.
scope.
Okay. So let me tell you this. Let me see. Let me put this in simple plumbing terms. If that reactor was to whatever that pipeline was to cool down one of the reactors, whatever. So it works like a toilet. if water is flowing and you flush a toilet while your sink is running, if you don't have good water pressure, what is the water in the sink gonna do when you flush the toilet? It's gonna run slow. The pressure decreases. So when something is cooling something else, just like a radiator in a car, if the pressure's low, then the temperature rises. So you finna tell me that you didn't know that they had a leak? Because that's just the common denominator. If something is not flowing like it needs to in those type of places, then it affects something else, which causes the temperature to rise somewhere else because there is a leak. It's like having a hole in one of your hoses in your car. If it has a pinhole, it ain't gonna be that bad, but it's still running a little warmer than normal. It's just simple. So you finna tell me you didn't know?
Well, clearly, clearly, the city has been getting quite a few calls and from anxious citizens. So the mayor felt he needed to put this out because he's letting the community know that although this plant is in Monticello, the city does not govern this plant.
That's because it's probably owned by a private investor.
Well, they're putting it on the state and federal agencies that regulate
Uh-huh.
these types of things.
But what does that have to do? What does that have to do with the state being in danger of not having water? It don't
So,
matter who is put on.
well, he's letting them know that this includes any emergency response, any remedial actions, public media releases, all of that is state and federal and on this company. But if the state and federal oversight agencies determine, this is a quote from his statement. Y'all can go to the Monticello city website and read this too. If the state and federal oversight agencies determine that there is any potential or actual impact to the city's drinking water supply or infrastructure, the city will immediately notify the public with assistance from these agencies.
Half of them will be dead by then.
So it's let's just put it off, let's just put it off, let's just point a finger at this person, let's just point
Exactly.
a person, and let's just say that we just found out about it in the end of February. So it's not on our hands, people, and you can go fuss at the state or the federal.
Half them people will be dead. And it probably won't be instantaneous unless it's a
Well, we're
large
not gonna
amount
do
of.
anything about it until since it's 96. Okay, don't get mad at me, people. We went and got the stats. Okay, because I noticed the Me Too and the How To and the We Do era, and y'all just get mad at everything somebody say. But listen, we went and got the stats. 96% Caucasian live in this city. We're not going to do anything until one of their babies has titanium in their system behind the water.
Mm-hmm.
Because many times we don't use the bottled water to cook.
Mm-hmm.
We'll use
Tap.
the water from the tap. We might boil it before we put whatever we're going to put into it, which helps. But this titanium, people, is radioactive. So it's not going to help to boil the water. Okay.
Nope.
So, and then those people who use the compost system of water, which
Mm-hmm.
means
Mm-hmm.
rainwater,
Water. Mm-hmm.
okay, you might be okay.
Yeah, if you're getting enough rain.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Right.
It looks like you, if
Okay.
You might have to do a rain tank or something, because
We know that y'all know what we talk about when we say compost water. Some people are just that tapped into nature and being aware of what's good for their bodies, that they actually collect. There's a system of being able to collect rainwater and turning it into all-purpose
water.
water that you can drink and cook with, and that this is how they live their lives. It's with compost water.
And then some people, like, they're fortunate to, in places like that up there, they're fortunate to have wells. You know what I'm saying? And wells, depending on how they're constructed, they probably wouldn't be affected to a
Yeah,
certain degree. You know, to
but this
some
is
degree.
2023, and we know that there's probably another system of how water is generated and transported to the different households in that
Yeah,
area. And so
yeah.
this is why people are anxious and calling the city and asking that the city do something about this. And so the mayor has put up a
You got take it off him. He's like, hey, that's federal and state. That's like, I mean, that's nothing we can do. Uh, that's
yeah.
that's see this. Here's the problem that I have. The problem that I have is simple. When they were building this, you didn't protest it, knowing what it could possibly do later in years, but you allowed it to happen because it did what? Create jobs. So I'm just saying.
They probably did protest, but they didn't win. Those who didn't want it there didn't win because they said it was going to create jobs. So we're gonna keep watching Mr. Lloyd Hilgert.
I just want to say one more thing before we get out of here. Not concerning that. Silicon Valley, the economic system is going to get ready to collapse because predicted that. I said, listen, this banking system is going to fold, and that's just the start. Hey, I listen. I'm telling
we
y'all better do something different with your money. Anytime somebody can lock your money up with a push of a button is a problem. I'm trying to tell you, this system is not gonna hold. Hmm. I was looking at Bloomberg maybe last week. The Dow Jones closed at 500 below 500 points.
Y'all heard him say 500. He didn't say
500
500. He said
under
500.
500.
Okay.
500 points. The Nasdaq closed at about 250. You know what I'm saying? It's raggedy. It's raggedy. And then I heard Silicon Valley was still giving out bonuses because they knew they had that audit coming. They was trying to dump that money. I'm telling y'all better get together. That ain't gonna be the only bank folding because I think it was Silicon Valley and it's another one that's going through it too. But that's the top of the peak of the mountain. It's gonna be a lot of that.
So Silicon Valley Bank Financial Group,
Mm-hmm.
they filed for court supervised reorganization under Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. They're trying to seek buyers for their assets.
Who want it?
Now, Silicon Valley Bank was taken over by U.S. regulators first, and then the financial group, filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Your money is not safe. The Constitution says that you should buy, sell with gold and silver. The paper note is already illegal and it's only backed by the gold that the government has to make it substantial. You better invest in some change.
So the shares
How much they going for? Can we buy some?
of the big U.S. banks fell between 1.5% and 2% in pre-market trading.
How much the shares for that bank right now?
You want to go buy it?
No, because it's failing. Why would I want to buy something that's failing already?
Well, that's what they're looking for. Somebody that can get his assets.
No. No. Ain't worth nothing. Not unless you
Look,
just
y'all,
want a puppet shell to mess with. Man, that ain't.
they say it's the largest collapse since Washington Mutual went bust
I
in
remember that.
2008.
I remember that.
Remember the big recession of 2008?
I remember.
That was the year Obama got elected, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was also the year that everybody I've talked about this on the show a lot. It was everybody else in the nation was just like in the crapper. Their economy was in the crapper.
Yeah.
Except Texas.
Of course.
Texas didn't miss a beat.
Of course not. That's when one of the biggest banks collapsed also too. Wachovia. Wachovia Bank was one of the ones that went under, and it was like 3 or 4 big, huge banks that went under. Like, yeah, gonna be a lot more of that.
So they were forced to sell their portfolio of treasuries and mortgage-backed securities to Goldman Sachs. They sold it at 1.8 billion loss.
That's who got the money. Goldman Sachs and Bloomberg, those got the money.
They attempted to raise 2.25 billion in common equity and preferred convertible stock, but then of course, people watching the market were spooked, and they pulled their deposits from the bank. That's what led to the $42 billion outflow that day. In one day. $42 billion outflow in one day.
Yeah. Listen, man.
So
I watched
that's
that
reminiscent
market.
of the Great Depression, right?
Yeah, I watched that market. I watch those markets like that. So I'll be looking at them numbers, man. I get up like every day and check the stats on them numbers. See what's happening there, who buying what, and what's going on, man. You better know, because like this stuff is not no game. I'm trying to tell you, you better take your money and put it in coffee cans and pillow slips and put it in your wall. Like
I know somebody that already do that. Never stopped doing it.
I do too.
Okay, so Silicon Valley Bank Securities, Silicon Valley Bank Capital Funds, and general partner entities are not included in the Chapter 11 filing. They're looking for alternatives to bankruptcy.
Well, Elon Musk can go bail them out. He still has.
Do we really need him to be in charge of the bank?
Well, Tesla's doing real good, and so is SpaceX. I mean, we put Orange Hair in for president. Did we really need him to run the country?
Yeah, you see where that went.
But I'm just saying,
we let out the Antichrist when we did.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. He's an upstanding citizen.
I'm sorry.
For him.
Not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's an upstanding citizen.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Starbucks. You know what it is.
Starbucks.
You know what it is.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Listen,
I am so sorry.
For what?
I should not have said that. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
I don't know.
So sorry.
So
just so sorry.
I tell you, I don't know why I show up here sometimes. This is gonna be a laugh fest. Sometimes I just don't know why I come here. Because the work is fun. I mean, Well,
Ooh.
so I think we in Revelations now. The banks are collapsing. The nuclear power plants are blowing up again. Water is being
Eh,
radioactive, released into different streams, rivers, and lakes. So I would say this is the apocalypse. I'm just waiting on the pale horse, and the one that rode in on it was death.
That already happened. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for the wheat and barley scales, man, to roll in now, man. Oh, I don't know. I'm done, man. I'm done.
Take us out here, co-host, before we get ourselves in trouble. Come on.
I'm probably already in trouble. I don't care. So you can hit us up on Instagram. You can check us out on Twitter. We on every platform that you can possibly think of. Just spell Insane Rhetoric with a K, Insane Rhetoric with a K, and just check us out, man. Remember, you got next week, Fatherhood Show. You know who's showing up. People from upstate, people in the Midwest, you know what I'm saying? We gonna have a good time. And I hope don't nobody trip with me. I'm trying to be nice in
Yeah,
these
y'all go
days.
check out the Black Fatherhood podcast.
Yeah, check
Ro
out Black.
Jones. Ro Jones is the host. Go check
Check it
us
out.
out. Go check him out. Joining forces in the man cave this coming next Saturday.
Yeah, so
So
it should be good, man. I am excited, and then we're gonna talk about down bad women, and I don't mean in a good way.
we got deadbeat dad.
Down bad women.
Okay.
I can't think of no other nicer name to say right now, but you know what it is.
And this is women that don't take care of their children.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know, but guys get the bad rap. Oh, not this time, not on this same rhetoric. We're equal opportunists.
I mean, what you think of a person that picks up their child and the car reeks of the smell of
A dispensary?
I don't know. I don't
I,
know.
I, I think it's horrible. The same way I think of a person who says that they got 4 kids at home and they ain't cooking their kids nothing. The same thing I think about a person, a woman who I'm riding down a street in Missouri and notice that the car is stopped and somebody kid, little Jose, shoots across a busy street. The
Uh,
same thing. I think about all the same.
yeah, I'm drinking Perrier.
Now we Perrier.
I'm, but if you notice, you probably can't see it. See that stuff jiggling in there?
Yeah, it look like fruit.
It is
Did they
some
make that?
strawberries and oranges.
You put that in on yourself?
I put that in my water to infuse the water with those flavors.
There's gonna be a lot of infusing needed in them rivers with that radioactivity.
Yeah, I'm glad I had this.
like,
Well,
so check us out on all platforms, man. Check us out on our platforms: IG, Twitter, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spotify, everybody, everywhere, Amazon Music, blah blah blah. We out here, man. Listen, we try to make the world a better place. The world
you
is
know,
upside down. We are really trying to turn it right side up.
I'm
The
getting
world
ready to
is
go
not flat.
call.
We're not going to fall off the edge. The world is a sphere. It is round. So
I'm getting ready to go make a phone call.
who you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say what he usually say.
I ain't even talking about him. I'm not gonna wreck my day. So I'm gonna just say this. Remember to enjoy the ride that is Insane Rhetoric, and we out. Be watching for the show next week. It's gonna be on the dime. Not dropping a dime. We ain't telling on nobody. But
No,
it's gonna be on the dime.
snitches get stitches.
Well, I'm gonna be a snitch next week. I'm gonna be talking bad about something.
I'm just gonna be a snitch if you going out, if you start putting comments on our social media that don't sound right.
You know, put something on you talking about you finna go shoot up somebody if you want to. You know how that go. You know what we say here. She gonna tell.
Yeah,
I'm gonna laugh.
yeah. But anyway,
We out.
bye y'all.
Shout out to Starbucks.
Y'all, do y'all know anybody that work for Starbucks?
I know one person. I need to talk to see who they know in Starbucks.
We need somebody in corporate. We don't need a barista.
Hey, but if they know somebody in corporate that know somebody, that'll get you there.
Okay.